spying behind him a moving shade with a drawn weapon that made toward him. The knight swung his oak staff, a low, steady stroke that tripped up the other's heels, sending the armored form backward, upending it as burnished plate clattered to stone with sword dropped and limbs scattered. Still crouching low, another knight faced him squarely, his bright sword drawn, sensing no motion from him. Taking the advantage, he feinted left, sending the other's weapon far off wide, quickly attacking the exposed weak side, swinging into the shoulder. He knocked the form off balance, which flailed and rocked uneasily, sword still in his hand, fighting both to defend himself and keep from toppling. Suddenly, a woman's voice broke through the combat and spoke sternly.
"Cease this now, and return."
Before he could do anything more than turn in surprise, the armored pair withdrew and left them there in the chamber. Turning fully, he saw her stance relax and soften with her glance, her steady gaze arresting his eyes, revealing neither hesitation, disguise, nor much warmth, but a stare that met his own, unwavering, and set, young, yet with an almost old character, blue, crystalline. Cold irises flecked grey and white like streaks of ice in frozen light, her hair radiant with shades of red and gentle locks and strange braids spread over an imperious brow, wrought into curls and twists, fine and taut, their roots auburn dark, with flame-tipped knots, both wild and tame. Threaded through her hair there lay modest pearls of silver grey set in golden clasps, and chains delicate as tiny grains of sand. Her complexion much like his own, pale and drawn, through which were shown both dignity and seriousness, with an air of confidence in her open stare. Her dress spread a deep forest green in rich pleated velveteen folds, along the shoulders and arms, its bodice stitched with ornamented charms, much like those upon the fairy tome, flowers of shimmering metal and airy bands interwoven in silver lace, no eye could track nor finger trace. With a deep, gentle voice she breathed words sure but wary, like sheathed weapons.
"Mistake not these who guard me, nor take their presence hard. You are yet a stranger, and they have faced more dangers in this time of waste and decay than can be easily told. Lord most noble, of even more adored virtue, I greet you to this place, whose stern walls and ancient grace have long sheltered nights of trial, with solace from the weary mile of travel, since the old gods of tree and land fed our streams, hand in hand with mortal plough, fairy child, and fields of earth dark and wild. And by your hardened look, I read how long the journey for you indeed has been. Welcome, sir, blessed of nights, take much deserved rest. Your search can wait another day. Take your ease for as long as you may."
"Lady," said he, "sure yours are wise words, tempered by judgment and eyes discerning. I have walked the sorrow of worlds, through past without tomorrow or present, through ways long enjoyed brought now to curse and destroyed, and sought so long in hearts forlorn by time, loss, and oaths forsworn for a faith or love to inspire my worthiness, only to be thwarted of desire at every step, not to seem hardened, as you say, which I hope may be pardoned in time. I've seen great men. Old friends buried to their eyes in ice on cold, dead mountainsides, flayed to the bone on windswept rocks made smooth from sands ground long before they were born. Even as the armour that shielded them, sheared clean by harsh wind, flickered to a sheen so bright it would melt your eyes in the blinding radiance of bright skies, till you would not know if you wept for the brightness or the pain of it.
"Harder," she answered, "to endure the worst of all loss, and like one cursed pursue lost hope, than fall outright and escape the endless plight of this life. Harder still to gaze upon the world's meagre ways, where those without honour preach shadow virtue, while they breach every word in the plain betrayal of duty, without regard to the pain they cause, mocking enemies and friends alike, trading principles for the ends of power, to see the weak persecuted by laws without precedent or cause, or hearts made stone from hope thwarted beyond power to cope, until lies turn truth and truth into lies, honor shamed and fools called wise. Had the Round Table bestowed but a fraction of what it owed to this time, there might scarce seem such sorrow to abate, or a world to redeem.
At this remark the knight's glance turned suddenly hard, his countenance direct.
Lady Morgan, if you are she, for I count 10 years since I did see her last, the consort of Urians at the feast of St. Matthew, before the harvest ceased and winter showers stained the ground to muddied grass and pasture drowned with streams. Wheat stalks, I recall, braided through your temples with fall rose petals, fastened to a silver coronet of endless knots with emeralds set. When Urians and Arthur disappeared after you left, at first we feared for everyone, then voices whispered of ill will between you, and finally word spread of their escape from a barge unmanned, set on by you and the powers you command. Deep in the darkening forest as stars burned soft in dwindling twilight, and Mars, a drop of fire in the indigo sky, it is told, the pair chanced by a river calm and glassy dark as onyx, prickled with starlight, where a bark lay moored silent by the near bank. Boarding the wide, shallow vessel by a plank alongside, the two men marvelled how swiftly the ship surged forth, arched prow cleaving the hard, still waters, as hushed ripples, soft murmuring, rushed along banksides quiet as cricket chirping. Even though the empty ship neither set sail nor lowered oar to power her course. As I heard, from that hour, they became prisoner of the haunted vessel, and only through a courage undaunted by trial did they escape a worse fate. To what division would you tempt me? Against my pledge and attempt, or against the one who languishes alone without power to heal or atone? You, who haven't aged a day since the songs we heard the minstrels play grace the feast tables, then our dreams so long ago, dying in the embers gleams.
Her head bowed in thought as if weary of one more unsought battle.
I remember those songs, one especially, a tune that grows in the heart the more one tries to banish it from where it lies. There was a time when word and song shaped unbounded worlds along the great halls of old, till blazing fire sheened like golden mist higher than skies over foaming seas, and story called forth unseen, untouched glory breathed by immortal guardians of fame, or hearts from places still too deep to name. Now that these songs of old have fled long upon the winds that spread the ash of monuments and swept rain like the tears wept by those who are forgotten, there remain only words, memory, and where will you find this world now in the dust of its greatness, or like you must, we all carry the past like a living tomb before we learn to honor its passing. I know that I stand accused in your eyes of treachery, but never with lies have I tempted mind or heart to act unadvisedly, nor with art, talisman, or fairy charm ever have I sought to harm the quest, nor did accusations emerge until years later, when I began to urge for its rescinding, for a goal so lofty and elusive, with a toll so destructive, no matter how noble its purpose, cannot now be thought worthy of ability such as yours. For 10 years the Grail Knights lost themselves to a dream, in the runes of elves sought destinies they forgot were their own to forge or not, while a generation fell unguided, left to the hell on earth that they let happen. If I perceive well, you have come to believe this, too, that if the Grail's discovery lies in faith, then hope truly is gone. For if to your cause you've held faithfully and long, Why has it impelled you on through years of search, impotent as dust, with neither vision nor portent to advance you? Why so many years, when the grail might well have been unriddled in a day by a pure heart, unless either you were unsure of its existence, or that you knew it would make no difference, even if the true relic could be found? As if evil were some blind error one could cure or correct with good instruction. But nothing can repair the destruction long concluded, nor shed much light on the perpetrators, for evil knows itself well enough and confidently goes about its purpose, while good men doubt and ponder over what could be true or might be made in this world, ever searching for what they miss within themselves, which is worse, to chase a dream so long, or to debase it by waking to the futility of one's own delusion. No sin for which to atone is it to heed the call of a true faith, but you dishonor your quest to doubt and ignore it, only to fear its ultimate truth, lest it steer you away from your object. Was it a true or lying God who said, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find"?
What dare we ask for, that have no care to see or will to know?
Replied the knight, whose glance turned aside from the ladies, trailing off into thought larger than reason had brought to comprehension.
Doubt I own freely and its mark. I have known what it is to end tyrants, and overturn 1,000 evil deeds to learn that this alone was not what greatness was, and to wonder finally what it is or does that we should seek it as the key to the unanswered mystery of our lives. At first we accept it in awe from a world larger than all understanding and older than thought, and through its beauty we are brought to hearts still richer and the need to give of ourselves in kind, to lead where we have followed. Yet wonder though it be, all that we know to love under heaven is as a flower that blooms and passes to a spirit, not held but touched. Encompassed never in conscious moments, no certainty, but sensed like objects in the dark we know are ours, of which will and matter are manifestations and acts far less, the shadow of shadows. And though somewhere you learned the world held no meaning, you took this belief alone on a faith no more certain than my own. Yet emptier far, for to trade honest doubt for certainty without the test of hard trial, without the prospect of error in all things, is to neglect the frailty of judgment and to give up darkness for blindness. For this you would deny the greatness that is your right to claim, and his infinite glory to bestow without limit.
She did not flinch from his regard, unstirred neither by earnest desire nor word.
I know your God, and many well have tasted greatness enough to tell the hour of their deaths, or to live in numb sorrow, powerless to give comfort to the suffering. And though there were a meaning to all this loss, sure, I think, many would live without a destiny or a virtuous doubt than suffer in the service of orderly design. Yet if you yearn truly for it, let me not further stay you from its embrace, and pray hard its greatness not tempt the hope that not even I would attempt to destroy.
Then she turned to go through an unlit arch and bade him follow, without remark, into a dark like cold and barren snow,